Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So yesterday the glitch incursions reset, and this time around we were kind of encouraged to focus more on the skill and tech class and the cosmic class, and therefore I went in with a different team with a different hack strategy, and it also went splendidly. Super easy, really. Okoye was my personal MVP. I also did bring in like Red Skull and somebody else for funsies. It's not actually, we can see in a second who, but I mainly just used Okoye for most of the stuff. I did give the Odin's pre-fights to Red Skull. Oh yeah, Medusa for the bosses. Medusa was quite nice because, you know, Nebula's, Guillotine 2099s, and Ultrons completely shut off their power gain and, you know, easily take care of those. So Medusa did put in plenty of work too. At the second part of the video, I kind of will go over some of the best options for these things as well, and some hack combinations. But first, let's take a look at a few of the fights from yesterday. So I think this at this point is already like zone 23, so it's well within that run. And these fights that you see here could have actually been quicker if I had just let opponent actually use that special attack. But instead of that, I chose to use mine because I wanted to heal a bit, because I did made some boo-boos along the way. But either way, because of the stun there and the taunt and special 3 lock, I never worried about them being able to throw special 3 at me anyways. And all of these fights lasted like 15 to 30 seconds. It was 30 seconds if I decided to finish the fight by stab with Okoye. And it was 15-20 seconds if I actually let them use a special attack and trigger all the power stings, and then they exploded immediately. I think I detonated power sting for like 4.8 million at some point against somebody. But there you go. So it's very simple. Here we can see again, just, you know, shut down their wave completely. I'm going to go in for my level 1. And my opponent's kind of dead. I was missing one brutal hack. If I had gotten a hack that gives me more attack for each debuff on the opponent, this would have been absolutely bonkers. But again, I will break down all the hacks that I used, which ones are important, which ones were not important at all. But it was effectively quite a bit of a breeze. Again, Red Skull was there for a handful of matchups, and eventually he was also able to do stun lock if I wanted to go that route. If I thought something could be a bit too tricky. And Medusa was there for bosses. And then again, Okoye was there for just about all the fights. In this fight, I cannot gain any power, but neither can Wong. So it actually made the fight slower, because if Wong would be able to get power, the fight would be over at this point. But I realized I can start just spamming heavy attacks here. So that's what I started doing. And I mean, it was great fun. It really, really was great amount of fun clearing this. We can probably rewind a bit to see some boss fight here. What kind of boss are we dealing with? Oh, there's Nebula, because obviously, yeah, sure, why not? Let's rewind a bit of a Nebula fight. So, against robots, why Medusa is so good? Because I can just activate level 1, and then they are power locked. In this case, you can shrug something off there. And yeah, they can't get any power. And anyways, so the hacks. The main hack for Okoye was hemostatic charge. But obviously, it also works with Medusa, because Medusa also inflicts bleeds. And I did have one hack that let any champion inflict bleeds later on. That was kind of helpful there too. So, hemostatic charge was the main hack. So, whenever you inflict a bleed, effect, or a debuff, or a passive, you put a power sting on opponent. If you got 3 power stings, opponent is taunted and special 3 locked. That's why I was never afraid to push my opponent's level 3. Then we have Tide of Combat. Whenever non-damaging debuff on the opponent ends, the attacker has a 50% chance to gain a Fury buff. Max caps 10. So, obviously, because of power stings, we always pump this up very quickly and very nicely. All out effects I didn't want, I didn't need. It was just one of those hacks that I kind of had to pick, and I didn't have a better option. Similar to Entropic Shield, but it was kind of helpful for a few other champions. So performing a well-timed block gives me more block proficiency, and also then my second medium hits inflict bleed on my opponent, and that will also trigger the power sting, so that was nice. Buffcon obviously worked out quite nicely, giving me way more buffs, and I kind of picked Buffcon mainly because I had the extra attack per buff node all hacks on, but Buffcon wasn't too bad. Mutually assured destruction. I wish this was toxic siphon instead, but it didn't roll for me, so I used mutually assured destruction to get myself some regeneration and healing, which is always crucial for these longer runs. Then we do have defensive cascade. When the opponent is knocked down by a special attack, they're inflicted with stun. Again, I didn't necessarily want this hack, but it kind of worked out nice because my opponents were special 3 locked just about always. And with Red Skull, this immediately gives you kind of like an infinite stun lock there, basically. Because you stun your opponent for 5 seconds, and this ability has a 15-second cooldown, but when you do get armor ups, it goes down to like 5-second cooldown, and then you can just infinitely spam special attacks. Second Chance was the last hack that I could select from all of the available options, and I picked it just as a failsafe just in case I do make a big mistake and would get knocked out. This would protect me. Then I had effect upgrade, damaging effects, kind of self-explanatory, and we had attack surge, buff count, and unique buff count, and this obviously gave me massive amounts of attack increase. I wish I could have collected the one for debuffs as well. That would have been super. That gives me extra damage per debuff on opponent. That would have been absolutely crazy. We also had increased power sting potency. Ooh. It's a warning that we have very, very, very big cold coming our way. This is the first time I got an alert like that. It's gonna be minus 26 degrees Celsius in Latvia overnight, so that is fairly cold. So attack surges, buff counts, and unique buff counts. I'm gonna leave this in because I think that's cool. Effect reinforcement, power sting, buff upgrade, fury. So my fury buffs got more potent, and critical damage rating. Sure, why not? Type thing. So that was basically my hack strategy with Okoye, and it worked out with the rest of the champions I brought in as well. So what are obviously the best options for these incursions runs? If you have at least a rank 3 Angela, one of the best champions to bring in. Pair it with Odin synergy, the hacks will barely matter at that point. But Angela will be absolutely bonkers good for this. Hal was super great for a ton of champions as well. I know a lot of people used Null for this as well. Null can do crazy things here too because of his debuff count. Then we have Serpent. A lot of people use Serpent carry too. Obviously, there will be other options that I didn't mention. And besides that, you can still run the same thing I did last week. We had Silk. You can easily build an infinite stun lock with Silk with the increased stun duration as well as martial artist. And also, Spider-Woman synergizes extremely well with that. Tons of buffs, tons of debuffs, generally extremely capable champion. As I used in my run myself, Okoye does tremendously well. Besides Okoye, you can also use Bullseye. She would work extremely similar to how Okoye worked. So he would work extremely similar to how Okoye did work. So those are kind of some of the main favorites, I would say. Other than that, again, there's still plenty of great options. So these are my recommendations. I wish for you guys to now go down to the comment section and let me know who did you use and how did it go. Full stream is available on my channel if you want to see exactly how the fights went. But in general, for most part, that little insight was basically exactly what happened. But yeah, I kind of like these glitch incursions because you have quite a few different ways how you can build out. Just wish you could. Both of my runs, I got like very unlucky with the random 3 boss hacks that you can pick. Because I knew what I was building out, but I basically got none of the other ones that I would have wanted to pop out in the random chests or random selection times. So I kind of wish we could, have even more of a control, if you know what I mean. I think that would be even bonkers. But even though, I was at zone 25 at like 20-second fights, so you can't say it was extremely challenging or difficult, at least to me. Because I do know that some people end up struggling, but it's often because either not reading the nodes or B, not thinking over their build of hacks. But yeah, let me know how did it go for you, and I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Bye bye. Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about the next one. Hello.